What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Finally got the Dodge back on the lift, and it's already winter time again. Go figure this is how everything works out. Work on everybody else's stuff, and don't ever get to work on mine. But I'm not gonna complain. I like helping people. So I completely forgot that I have like a ton of footage. I've got like a whole bunch of footage. Had a whole bunch of footage on this thing where I was working on it, and then life kind of unfolded for us, and it is what it is. We're not gonna complain. We're not gonna do all about the past. We're gonna move forward. But I'm getting back on this thing. I've got, we're gonna put a rear main seal, oil pan gasket, all that stuff. All that stuff over there has been cleaned and painted. It's just rattle can. It's not nothing super spectacular. I mean, it's a driver. But we're gonna start on again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna catch you guys up the best I can on the old footage, and then hopefully bring you up to date. We've done a lot to it. Y'all see. Just keep watching. I'll flip you over here in just a minute and catch you guys up, and then we'll see each other at the end. Well, we got progress. Not too shabby. We'll be able to, if something goes wrong, whoever gets the truck can just come right over here and go da-da-da-da-da. Oh, okay. Go from there. Sometimes I like to just try to pay it forward, if that makes any sense. Instead of just throwing it in there and kind of being a dirtbag about it, just pay it forward for the next guy. That'll come back to you some way, form, or fashion. Now, what we got to start doing is the wiring and cutting out of the duck's foot and all the fusible links. Printed this off at work. It's right here. If I knew how to just like post a whole picture of it, I would, but I'm still learning all that. And I did not come up with that. That strictly come from Decent Garage. If you get a chance, check him out. If I can figure out how to post a link, I'll post a link somewhere here, but just type in Decent Garage. He's from he's somewhere up north, and he works on Cumminses and all that, and he's done a lot of good stuff, but that's all credit to him. I'm not taking no credit for that, but I do want to share it in case somebody's running across it, this endeavor and whatever they're doing. We got to kind of peel back some wiring here. We got to that right there is what we're getting rid of, but we got to come back here and get rid of these guys here. These guys are the fusible links, and I really think that this is the main problem as to why the doors don't work. I don't have any power on the doors, key or window. I don't have any power on the windshield wipers, and a few other things that I don't have power on. But that's kind of where we're at with this right now. I would put you on timeless, but that's gonna be kind of boring, and we're just gonna just sit there and watch me just undo wires and everything. Whenever I get a little more in depth with, color codes and things like that, I'll probably turn you on there. This is, it's pretty well self-explanatory. If I can get this paper to lay right. That's kind of like an orangish wire there, 20 gauge. It's another orange wire, I believe. There's a green. There's a purple or something, and maybe these are pink, I'm not for sure. There's a blue. This one right here is the main one. It's a 10 gauge. It's significantly bigger than the rest. A lot of guys will run a complete new wire over. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I really think I'm just gonna pull that over and just come over here. It was charging fine. I don't think anything's wrong with the current wiring on it. I don't see why it would need replacing. Also, we're gonna do this guy here. This is a power wire that is notorious that there's a fusible link there. It's not blowed yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it and put like one of those little inline fuse holders. I believe I'll have to do a little research. I don't remember the amperage for that guy, but anywho, mounted in there. A little difficult doing it by yourself, but she's in there nonetheless. We'll keep cracking at it, and I'll catch y'all in a minute. Well, it's still a little bit of a mess. I got to clean it up, but it does run. Nothing bad happened. That's the main thing. Let me flip it around. So still a little bit of a hot wiring mess. I didn't have any. I'm just using everything that I had. Like I said, I'm still gonna clean a bunch of this stuff up and go from here. So power runs to here, runs down to the maxi fuse, runs through the maxi fuse, back into the harness, goes over to the alternator. The fuses, you can see 60, 40, and 40. Still got my 2 10s and a 30 there. Everything's doing okay. I still don't have windshield wipers. May have figured something out with the doors. So I don't have a door lock key. That is number one thing. And I don't know why I was sitting there thinking the driver's door only had a 1 window motor and a door lock. It should be the window motor to both there. So I still got to figure that out. Been doing a little reading, and apparently the windshield wiper motor has to have a ground. It has to go through that bolt and some other stuff. I'm not really for sure just yet. I'm gonna do some more research, do some more testing to figure that out. But it does run, so I didn't lose anything, but I didn't really gain anything other than the fusible links are gone, and we have actual fuses that can be replaced if need be. I'm going to do a little more research on this alternator fuse. So everything that when I started this whole endeavor, the guys that I was watching and reading, they all had Cummins trucks, 5.9s and all that. And I don't know I'm sure that the alternator puts out more than what that one would. According to the part number on it, it's just a 60 amp alternator. So I don't know, maybe there's some things I'm missing, but 175 amp breaker seems a bit excessive. So I don't know, I'm gonna do some talking to some more seasoned individuals and figure that out. But it does run and drive, or it does run. Still got to fix a transmission leak and just get, like I said, windshield wiper motors, window motors. So I got the truck lifted up here, and I'm trying to do this with my phone. But I'm gonna give you like a quick rundown, and I'll either put my phone up somewhere and try to record, or I'll just pick you up whenever we're done. But what we got to do here is we got to remove these brackets right here, connect to the manifold, and then you got to take your starter off there. Then you just work all the way around. Take all these off. Come up here and you got a couple lines. Like I said, I'm probably gonna hook, I'm not gonna jack it up by the crank, even though that's what the book says. And I don't even know if y'all can hear me. It's raining cats and dogs outside, but I think I'm just gonna hook to the engine up here somewhere and pick it up, because you gotta pick it up high enough to where you can slide the pan out the back here. We're just trying to fix some of these oil leaks. Got a new transmission pan gasket to go on it. Yeah, so we're trying to make things a little better, piece at a time. And, I don't know, we'll see. Catch you guys here in a minute. Well, a little bit of a bummer. It's not a roller motor, but you know, we'll take what we can get, right? Manifold bolts. Thank you, Jesus. They're all loose, but the very back one, and that's mainly because I can't get to it right now. Got it cleaned up for the most part. I gotta do a lot more cleaning, you know, along the channel walls on the front and the back. Clean the heads up a little more. That is probably the absolute heaviest intake I have ever taken off in my life. So I come home and kind of got after it, and I'm just gonna catch you up real quick. So I got under there, cut the exhaust off, let's get them things out of the way. We can weld it up later if we choose to. Got the oil pan off. Everything looks good. Looking at the cylinder walls, like that one right there, we still got cross hashes. So it just kind of further proves, or just adds more justice to the odometer. I do think that the mileage on the odometer is real. I don't think that it's I don't think it's been rolled over or anything. I mean, that dude's got some good cross hashes in the cylinder bore. So yeah. Anyway, we got the oil pan off. Did not have to jack the motor up. When I got the exhaust out of the way, I was able to just bloop. But now we got to remove the oil pump and the rear main. I'm gonna try to get that. Hopefully I can get that rear main out, seal out fairly easy. If not, I'm gonna have to order what they call like a Sneaky Pete, and it's like a wire corkscrew, and you kind of screw it into the rope rear main, and that's what helps you pull it out. But that's kind of where we're at right now. Gonna do a lot of cleaning. I'm also starting to think that a lot of it was just the gaskets got hard on this poor girl. Valve cover gaskets were shot, intake gaskets were shot, oil pan gaskets were shot, and none of it was tight. But all the gaskets are like super hard. So I'm starting to think that's a lot of where our oil leaks were coming from. Like I said, we're going to drop the oil pump, rear main cap, fish the seal out, and put a new one in. Catch you guys in a minute. Well, move things around a little bit in the shop. I don't know about y'all, but it is raging hot and humid here in Kentucky, and I'm dying. That right there is some van lower control arms. Let's see if I can. These actually came from Amazon. They look fairly well built. There's your part number there for one side, and that should be your part number for the other one right there. Something I'm going to try to be as thorough with as I can as part numbers, to try to share as much information as I can, and just spread the love with that. But right now we're going to zip the front wheels off and start doing the thing. Catch you guys in a minute. Now I'm going to try to resist from just rebuilding the whole front end here. I do have new upper ball joints, and I am told that they are an absolute joy to change. I have the socket, so yeah, I don't know just yet. Everything has got grease zerks on it. We'll start poking and prodding and prying around and seeing, kind of what all is good or bad, and we'll just do what we can do. One of the things we got to do when we get the lower control arm off here. So we got to transfer these guys. This, I think they call it a strut bar. We have to transfer the 2 holes for it onto the lower control arms. And then we have to, there's like a bump stop on the new ones we got to cut off. So, yeah. Got a little bit of work ahead of us. We're gonna pretty much just gut this whole front. And then you do have to drill the frame right there. I believe that's a 5/8 bolt. Or no, it's a 9/16 bolt and you gotta go to 5/8 or something like that. You gotta make that bigger or run a bushing. I'm not gonna run a bushing. I'm just gonna drill it, get a new bolt. You know, same length, just bigger to fit the van lower control arm. Again, I'm gonna try to share every bit of information that I can with this. I did get on the ball joints, that is a Precision K778, the new upper ball joint. The socket that you need, this is just an OTC. I got this from O'Reilly's. You can probably get it off Amazon cheaper, 8034. Which that one was actually used, but I wasn't gonna send it back. I'm pretty sure it's not hurt. Just one of those things with my account, it was a little cheaper than buying it from Amazon, so I just went ahead and just bought it. So anywho, turn the music up, let you guys watch, and then I run into something, I'll let you know. I do have some other things. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out as we go. As much as I want to convert it to a 5 by 4.5, I don't know that I will, because then I gotta buy 4 wheels, 4 tires. For right now, we may just lower it. I have another idea, but I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag just yet, because that requires some more old school stuff, or what I call old school, and it's just genuine hot rodding at that point. Which that's what we're about, you know. We break rules and do what we got to do to achieve what we want, right? That's hot rodding. Especially the breaking the rule part. So, anywho, I'm gonna shut up. I'm just gonna get with it. Catch you guys in a second. So, pretty simple. Of course, I drop things about 500 times. I'd say you could get it, you know, this far in about 20-30 minutes, as long as you didn't drop stuff like I did. So moving forward, we're gonna clean all this up. I still got to get the top ball joint out. I've got new brake hoses. The guy I bought the truck from previously had bought brand new hoses, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them on. Everything looks good. I mean, that bottom ball joint, the boot is done. So, anywho, just whenever you're taking that spring out, be careful, because that dude is, like I said, that is the strongest spring and the biggest spring I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna take it back up in the air here, and then we'll finish taking the lower control arm out, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. We gotta transfer these bottom two holes here. You probably can't see it from there, but I'll show you when we get it off there, and I'm probably not going to get it mounted tonight. I still got to get the bolts. I may go get the bolts tonight, but I don't think I'm going to have it back on its own weight yet. I'm also debating on cutting a coil, because that's how it starts. So, yeah, we'll pick it back up, take the lower control arm off, and try to wrestle this top ball joint out, and hopefully, Lord willing, it just comes right out. So I think the way that I'm going to drill that frame hole step bit, I don't know if it'll focus there. Come on. Anyway, the biggest it goes is 3/4, which is exactly what we need. It's gonna be fun, but it has to be done. On top of all that, we gotta figure out something with our bump stop here. I'm seeing some people just cut them off. I might trim ours, get it that much off. We'll see. Yeah, first things first, we're gonna tackle that girl and see what we can come up with. Well, hello. So I know the video's kind of gonna be choppy. Been busy. Been working on J-Bone's car. Been trying to, and kids are starting school, and it's just been crazy. But it's low. It's pretty low. Still got to. We still got to finish all this under the hood. Got all the gaskets was pretty much hard on this engine, and everything was leaking. So still got to put the oil pan on. I got parts strolled everywhere. Just shot a little bit of paint on some stuff, cleaned everything up, and still got more parts to put on. But here we are. We are slowly making progress. I only really work on it 1 day a week. I've been trying to work on J-Bone's car. We put new header gaskets on it, and got the new stage 8 locking, or stage 8 locking header bolts. Got him a new AC delete pulley. Got to work on this side, and I'm trying to just redo all this with the cooling fans, because we're trying to get that ready for Ford Fest. Maybe, we'll see. But come out pretty good. I do say so myself. Flipped the rear. Just used a Summit Racing spring perch for a 3-inch tube. I do not have the part number on that. And that is a van lower control arm, 85B150 van, and one coil cut out of the coil spring. It actually still, so it's not doing it now, but it actually does sit a little lower in the rear. But upon disassembly, I found out I have air shocks. So, and they do still work. So I just popped a little air in them and brought it back up, and it sits beautifully. I would like to get this together for Mo Party in middle of September, but I don't think funds are going to allow that. Funds in time. Like I said, I got to get Jay's car done. So I didn't really record flipping the rear axle, mainly because I was getting frustrated. Putting that axle up over that rear end was, or putting the axle over the leaf springs was a humbling experience. We'll put it that way. And I mashed the far out of my thumb. So I just did not record. It was all business. It was all, we're just gonna get this done. On the pinion, we give it 2.5 degrees down to compensate for preload and all that. And those are welded in. We got to finish bleeding the brakes. We got to finish putting the engine together, and then we get to move on to little stuff. We got to put window regulators in, motors, get our windows working. Needs a multi-function switch, and putting all this back together. We were tracing a issue, found out that the switch was the problem entirely. But overall, guys, I think that the old Dirge looks a lot better than what it did. It was setting up like a 4-wheel drive, and it's only 2-wheel. So as you can tell by everything we've done, we've did quite a bit of work. van lower control arms, cut those coil springs, flip the rear, and whole bottom's done. The front of the engine is off. The intake and all that stuff is right there. But you know, making progress little by little. Got to get the brakes bled again. Got to get it on its own weight before we tighten up our suspension bolts, and then start putting the engine back together. Yeah, kind of been a fun little thing. I never in a million years thought that changing a lower control arm, a OE lower control arm, would give me all that drop. It does sit really low. Of course, you can't tell right now because it's about as high as a monster truck. But we do have some more goodies coming. Sneak peek right there. We will see how far we can get with that. Like I said, right now what I'm doing is just putting the engine back together, and hopefully probably gonna send it to an exhaust shop. My buddy Mike Swatzel, who also does blasting, runs an exhaust business here in town. Probably gonna get exhaust run on it. I think the truck's worth it. You know, nothing super crazy, but you know, dual exhaust, and I figured we could you know, do like the old Camaros or whatever and just kind of kick the exhaust right here. Just kick it down and out, give it a little bit of choppy, well, not choppy chop, but give it a little better tone. There's nothing wrong with sounding good, even if it is a little 318. But I'm gonna get busy with it and get after this oil pan and rear main seal, and then start putting everything together. Y'all be good. I hope you are continuing your path and whatever it is that you chose to work on or build, or your art, whatever it may be. My art is just very slow. Very, very slow. As Pop would say, as fast as a herd of turtles. Which, in turn, if you kind of break that up, it's hot racing. Herd of turtles racing. Y'all be good. Catch you on the next one.